What's up, guys? Welcome back to Random Jam's Yak'S show. This is the show where we cover all sorts of news, topics, discussions, and reviews in the geek world. Today, we are doing a awesome review. We are covering Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge in lieu of the new Mortal Kombat movie coming up in just a few weeks. So, Taylor, are you ready to talk some Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge?
I'm always ready to talk about Mortal Kombat, whether it's the game or the movie or an animated TV movie like this one. So yes, I'm ready. Are you ready? Are you?
I am ready. I'm ready to fight. In this review, we're going to talk about a little bit of what we felt and some of our reactions at the first half. And then the second half of the video, we'll cut into some spoiler territory, talk about some of our favorite moments, as well as some highlights of the movie that we really enjoyed. For those who don't know about this movie, it is an animated Mortal Kombat film that came out in 2020. It has a really unique style to it. And Taylor will give us a little bit more info on that.
So a little bit different than the traditional Mortal Kombat stuff that they've done over the years, ever since, the first release of Mortal Kombat back in like 1992. Mm-hmm. It's been kind of the cheesy live action, just cheesy. I mean, it is what it is. Old technology with old, it's old. So actually, fun fact, because obviously all you viewers know, April 23rd, 2021, new Mortal Kombat movie live action looks great. Acting looks great. Everyone's excited. So oddly enough, it's random whether they did it on purpose or not. April of 2020 is whenever Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion Revenge came out. So for those of you who don't know, Ed Boon created Mortal Kombat game all the way back to like just button pressing, side scrolling, all the way to the newest games where it's just absolutely incredible. So obviously a bunch of fan-made stuff on YouTube if you haven't seen some of that stuff. And then this movie dropped in April of 2020 last year, and the new movie's coming out this year of April 23rd of 2021. So obviously some much major hype, and we wanted to get ourselves ready for this movie by watching the animated series. Everybody knows who Scorpion is. Everybody knows the story of Mortal Kombat. So just watching it again from a different perspective, more like an anime style, 100% on board with it every time. Since I'm going to be driving the bus on this one, I'm just going to get right into it. First off, I love the story. I love the plot. I love the characters. I love the fact that it's Scorpion specific. It's not just Mortal Kombat. It's not just Raiden. It's Scorpion. So, Reese, are you excited that they used more of Scorpion as the main focus rather than someone like Raiden or Sub-Zero, or in more reference to like the original where a lot of focus was on Liu Kang as like being the main character, or like Johnny Cage? He's not a main character to me in this, but do you agree that they made a smart choice by going with Scorpion rather than Zeus?
I would say so. I mean, for me personally, I really enjoy the character of Scorpion, especially in the games. A lot of his moves that he has, those awesome chains that he can grab people and come here, like that, just iconic stuff that you get in the games. His different moves that he has, different combos and stuff like that, and all his powers. So yeah, I would say Scorpion was a great person to kind of center this movie around, especially, with the fact of him being, a ninja-like character, and them choosing this anime style that they did. Which was a smart move on their part by Warner Brothers. I thought that was, probably the best way they could have done this. And they kind of pulled inspiration from all sorts of different anime that we've seen over the years and kind of put it in the style of Mortal Kombat. So yeah, having Scorpion be the center and the cornerstone of this movie was great. And it allowed us to kind of see some of his, origin and some of the mystery that we've always had behind this character and bring it to life in this animation. So yeah, definitely a great decision. What did you think?
I thought it was great. I've always liked the rivalry between Scorpion and the Lin Kuei and Sub-Zero and the, I'm sorry. All right. Sorry. Going to get at me in the comments for this one. Scorpion and the Shira Ryu and Sub-Zero and the Lin Kuei. So their conflict has always been iconic because who killed who, who's responsible for what. The main plot from back in the day when you realize, I'm not going to spoil that yet, that things might not just be what they seem. So Scorpion and Sub-Zero are more complex characters, I think, than everyone. Raiden. Raiden's a god. He's a god of thunder. Sonya Blade, she is a military. Johnny Cage is an actor. Everybody knows that. They're not as complex as Scorpion and Sub-Zero. So yeah, I thought it was I thought it was fantastic. They kind of honed in on that right off the bat and focused them, because we always get like main story for Mortal Kombat. We always get side view of Scorpion, and he's not the main character. He's always just a side character. They're like, oh crap, there's Scorpion. Let's get wild up now. So no, this follows him specifically, and everyone else is side characters. And I thought that was a really good idea. So yeah, I agree.
And the fact that this is called Mortal Kombat Legends, it's kind of taking each, like, and what would be awesome is if they started to take each character and kind of give us a point of view story from each of the legendary characters that we know, such as Scorpion. So he was definitely a great first one to start with. If they ever decide to go in that direction, they've got an awesome series on their hands. So that's what I would love to see. Jumping off of this after seeing it, and definitely think that this was a good idea to make it about him, because obviously if they would have just made this animated Mortal Kombat, it would have been the same movie that we were going to be getting in just a few more weeks. So the fact that it's different in that way, but it's also familiar in another way, makes this a really great movie. So I would say, overall, the thoughts that I had were just amazing visuals, very, very strong story, especially for something like Mortal Kombat, which gives you, very little story to begin with, it's just mostly just, beating each other up and, tearing off limbs and things like that. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie, and I was surprised at a lot of the risks that they took, and a lot of the decisions that they made, that I was like, they just did that.
Yeah, I agree. It was just overall a great movie. If you haven't seen it, y'all, you need to watch it, especially if you don't know anything about Mortal Kombat and you're about to jump into the new movie that's coming out because you're just interested, just watch this. It's not a very long movie. It's only 80 minutes long. It's got it's a good introductory to what potentially could happen in this new one. So I would highly suggest you go see it. So, that being said, our opinions are great. Probably need to advise y'all now. We're going to be breaking down this movie a little bit. So if you haven't seen it, spoiler warning ahead. Okay. Just stop it now. Just get to the end of the video and, press that like, or pass right on through. And we're going to start talking about the plot and all that kind of stuff. So, spoiler warning, you have been warned. So
spoilers. Let's get into this. Let's go.
All right. So scene one, we are in the Shiraryu village. We got Hanzo Asashi as Hanzo Asashi, got his son Satoshi, his wife Hamuri, and then out of nowhere, just the Lin Kuei, led by Sub-Zero, goes into the city, goes into the village, and just this blood massacre
everywhere. So much blood that would make Quentin Tarantino blush in this case.
No punches, held nothing back. 100% gory Mortal Kombat that we have wanted.
They went for it.
So yeah. So obviously, goes into the town, goes in the village. Hanzo Asashi ends up in a pickle. Okay, he finds his dead wife, finds his dead clan. Out of nowhere, you see Sub-Zero just rip Satoshi, his son, apart, and then he straight up just kills Hanzo Asashi. If you didn't know, that's just the way it's been forever. Mortal Kombat. Sub-Zero killed Scorpion before he became a remnant and became Scorpion himself. So just that's something. If you haven't seen it, that's just a plot that's been around forever. Obviously, if you don't know, and we don't know yet exactly who Sub-Zero is going to be in this new movie, the original Sub-Zero, his name was Bi-Han. He was the older brother of the regular Sub-Zero that everybody knows. Okay, so let's just break on down into it. So, Reese, starting off with a bang, starting off hardcore action, death, blood, everything. Were you surprised, or was it something that you expected with this new movie?
So, Taylor, I was like, oh, this is going to be like Dragon Ball Z, you know? And then it starts into the fight. I'm like, okay, this is getting really intense. And then it goes further in the fight. I said, this is really getting intense. And then it gets to the part where he is just going nuts all over all these guys. And I'm like, I was not ready for this. I was
No.
definitely, when you suggested this a while back and said, "Hey, go check out this new Mortal Kombat animated film. It's really great and it'll, set you up for the new movie." I'm like, "Awesome. I'll go check it out." And I just hit play and I was like, "This is really cool. It's probably going to be like Dragon Ball Z or something." No, it was like 10 times that. It was just incredible. The visuals were just blowing me away. The fighting, the choreography of that, just it was just a bunch of like flashing lights of amazing just hitting me all at once. And I'm so glad that I hit the play button. And that was just right off the bat. I was like, all right, we're jumping right into this, especially with that emotional moment of him killing his son. I was just like, wow, this movie is serious. So that was what I was thinking that entire time.
Yeah, they did not hold back, and I didn't expect it to be as gory as it was, but hey, at the same time, I expected nothing less from Mortal Kombat.
Exactly. If they wouldn't have done that, we would have really been concerned and be like, wait a minute, what have they done here?
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't surprised. Wasn't surprised one bit. So obviously, after his death, he goes down into the Nether Realm and comes in contact with Quan Chi. Everybody knows this part of the story. Gets brought back as Scorpion, and then boom, gets told, "Hey, I need to send you on this quest. If you go get this key, then I will return you to your life, return your clan, blah blah blah." The same stuff that he's been doing for every Mortal Kombat. You do this for me, I'll revive your clan, I'll revive your
Right.
people. Same story that's been everywhere. So obviously, after that scene, we break into the Shaolin Temple where Raiden meets up with Liu Kang and says, "Hey, you need to prepare for a tournament, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of other people, and it's for for the sake of the world, say Earth Realm and all that kind of stuff." So obviously, in this movie, they focused on only a few of the main characters. They got Raiden, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and I wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't really say that Jax was a major character in this one, as he was more of a side character this one. So
Right.
obviously, just Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and Liu Kang, the prime three, along with Raiden.
Honestly, that's all the ones that I wanted to see. So
exactly what I was about to ask. Did you want to see more heroes, or was that just enough? You didn't get overwhelmed with a whole cast of characters. You got the ones that you knew, the ones that you wanted to see, and it just happened to be those. So I'm glad that they didn't muddy the water with so many different people. So I agree with that.
Well, let's talk about this cast.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got some great voice talent in there, but you cannot watch this movie and say that Johnny Cage, Joel McHale, who played him, he stole the show. He was incredible. I will have to say that after watching the Scorpion movie, Johnny Cage was my favorite character. I'm telling you, they made some smart decisions with the casting. They made smart decisions on deciding what characters to bring into this. Like, I love how they brought in each character and kind of showed you a little bit with what was going on in their lives to kind of let you know what version of this character you're getting. And just the way they treated Johnny Cage, I was just like, this is brilliant. This is going to keep the movie, fresh and interesting. But yeah, that right there made this a winner, was definitely making the cast as great as it was, and the decision of which characters to have, because like you just said, having too many characters can sometimes muddy the waters, and especially in a movie like this where it's about from the perspective of a singular character like Scorpion, you definitely don't want to distract or take away from what they're trying to do with that character. So all the supporting characters were brilliant. I love the way that each one were treated, felt right to the character, but it also felt fresh and different. So yeah, that was a big win. So I just had to add that little nugget in there.
Well, no, first off, Joe McHale in anything is great. So he oh gosh, dude. I don't know how you can finish a TV series and literally just go do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, get famous off of one show, build your fan base, and then just go, I'm gonna do that. And everyone going like, you all right, well, we want you for this. So yeah, come on. They could have picked a better person for it. So I agree.
Loved it.
Yes, absolutely. Just and Johnny Cage, people don't like the fact that Johnny Cage can sometimes be that arrogant a-hole that people just don't like, but he played him in a manner that you're just like, he's not a main character, but I kind of I'd be okay if he was. I'd be
I
okay
would
with
pay
that if he
money
was.
to see his
Yeah.
Kombat Legends movie. Like,
Can he
please
be in
tell me
it?
that that's the sequel to
Yeah,
this.
no, can he be Johnny Cage? Like, just he's got the look. Just put him in there. Give him some
Yes.
glasses.
Yeah,
I'd
just
buy
beef
it.
him up a little
I
bit.
would watch. I'd watch. Yeah. Oh, he could too. They do it. So obviously they meet up. They all meet up on the ship. Johnny Cage just ignores the reality of everything that's going on, thinks it's just some big movie, which played on his character even more. And everybody's taking it seriously. Raiden's taking it seriously. Sonya Blade's taking it seriously. Liu Kang's taking it seriously. And yeah, all of a sudden you just see Scorpion show up on this just big boat, like just looking around as he's going. So okay. So now it's just like, okay, now we're back to the main character, but I like these side
Yeah.
characters. So pretty bold move to throw him right in the middle of that big tournament with a whole bunch of people that you wouldn't expect. You would expect to see just the prime characters of the Mortal Kombat universe, but they instead threw in a whole bunch of just random, like random characters from different worlds and different dimensions that all got into one area at the same time to be in this tournament, which I thought was cool. Kind of
Mhm.
expanding the reality that is a giant Mortal Kombat tournament, but not throwing in all the characters that we have played with and we want to see. So again, not muddying the waters, but also keeping us level and grounded on the fact that it's just one big tournament.
And I'm not gonna lie, I did not think that there would be a tournament in this movie because
Right.
going into it, I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be a origin story of Scorpion. We're gonna get to see adventures of him on his own.
Right.
But no, they take you right into what the Mortal Kombat. They even say it in the movie, and I'm like, he said it, and then they do it. So it was interesting to like still get that origin, but then still get a Mortal Kombat movie out of it, which I did not expect.
I was about to say, so would you have been more satisfied if they took Scorpion and put him on a revenge path against Sub-Zero outside of the Mortal Kombat tournament? Or would you prefer it be a Mortal Kombat tournament? Like if it was its own story and he was doing his own thing in Earthrealm and was just either getting revenge on Sub-Zero or some other people or was just going all crazy, would that be something you would prefer rather than another tournament movie?
Well, now that you posed that question, I think it would have been very interesting to kind of seen him a little bit more isolated, like get to know his character a little bit more beyond the tournament. And seeing of what happened at the very beginning, with Sub Zero, I would have loved to have a few more encounters of just them together. And I know it didn't always work out that way, but I feel like there could have been a story written around these two characters and basically that revenge story, kind of playing out in a little bit different way. And sure, you could throw a tournament in there to make an excuse for them to kind of have that throwdown, but I
Or a
think that
flashback or something, like just a little flashback, right? Yeah.
right, and I think that might have maybe been something I would be willing to see, but I am definitely not upset with what I got to see with them throwing that tournament in there. It made it all make sense when they're like, yeah, this is a tournament, and and this is a Mortal Kombat movie, so a Mortal Kombat movie without a Mortal Kombat tournament in there is just kind of hard to understand or see happening. But they could have obviously made a different movie called, Scorpion's Revenge without Mortal Kombat in it, and it would have probably played out a little bit differently. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that.
Not bad. I agree. I kind of would be good either way. I agree that the necessity of having Mortal Kombat, just for title sake, I get it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too against it. So
And then
obviously,
just for the payoff that we get, or just for payoff that from the events that happened at the beginning, I feel like that's where was kind of missed a little bit of like that just straight up rage that he has for him killing his son. Like I feel like that might have been left out, in this movie and kind of gotten taken away a little bit from the tournament. Like I feel like they just didn't mention that a whole lot. That was a big event, especially since it happens right at the beginning and it kind of changes the whole game for Scorpion. I feel like that could have probably been more of a catalyst in this movie, but I see where it's like, we'll give the fans what they want. Let's give them some Mortal Kombat and let's give everything kind of an excuse to do this so we get some other kind of payoff. But
And
yeah.
speaking of that, they again hold no punches. They go right into it. So
Mm.
Shang Tsung's temple, obviously where this is going on.
Oh yeah.
His last, I think it was his ninth, wasn't it his ninth Mortal Kombat win, and then he gets to take over Earthrealm or something like that. So again, holds no punches. We get Jax, who obviously his signature is his metal arms. Doesn't
Yes.
have these in this yet. This is his first, I guess, intro movie to where he develops into the character of Jax from Mortal Kombat. Again, we hold no punches. Shang Tsung throws in Goro, Jax throws in, stands no chance. I mean, there is no Mortal Kombat fight. There is no skill combination. There's nothing. Goro just walks up to him, beats the crap out of him, and rips his freaking arms off.
Just straight off. That was the part I was like, okay, somebody's gonna come intervene in the middle of this.
Yeah.
Not about to just rip this dude's arms off. I was expecting somebody to be like, wait, or stop, or
nope.
like, nope. In another movie, that would have probably happened. But this is Mortal freaking Kombat, and we're gonna rip the dude's arm off.
It seems like Raiden was just like, let's just wait for him to rip the arms off first, and then I'm gonna make. I could have done it any time. I could have lightning bolted in there at any time. But I want to see where he goes with this.
Yeah, he shows up right after it happens, solders his arm, so he's like, well, at least you can, stay alive here.
Yep.
You won't bleed out. But that was just, it was insane.
And from y'all that have seen the trailer for the new movie that's coming out this year, Mortal Kombat, different story for Jax. He actually gets his arms frozen off. You can see it in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler.
Right.
But just different ways for these characters to have gotten their abilities or their signature looks outside of the original of certain things. So it's a different perspective. So obviously we figure out that Raiden's not going to compete in the tournament. He can't because he's an elder god. So he has to stand aside with Shang Tsung while they fight. So jumping into the very first fight, they teleport people to do the Mortal Kombat. Johnny Cage versus Baraka. What'd you think? Good combination? Obviously, Johnny Cage didn't even think it was real. Didn't even know what was going on, and then gets thrown into this fight for his life. So, go ahead. How did Joe McHale do in his first fight?
Yeah, so I thought that was a great matchup, and I love how he was just like totally oblivious to what was going on. He's like walking around, checking out the place, and then all of a sudden, comes out of nowhere, and he's like, "Oh, this is real. This is real. I guess it is." And he keeps fighting him and everything. So I was just like, yes, give me more of this. I want more. Like that was enough to warrant another movie. Just how he was, especially in that first fight. Like I loved it.
How far in a fight do you take the idea that this is just a guy in a monster costume before he starts killing you? So you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take this seriously now. I kind of need to fight this guy for real though. But he ends up winning. I mean, Johnny Cage ends up doing okay. I mean, you got Baraka, who is a Takartan warrior master, versus an actor who thinks everything is fake, and then you lose to that guy who's like monologuing the entire time.
Yeah.
God, that's just like throwing salt in the wound. I mean, obviously Baraka's dead, so I mean, he didn't worry about it. But
there you go.
It's interesting first matchup. I was definitely surprised with how that
loved it.
So okay, not a bad one. Second one, Sonya Blade versus Reptile.
Oh man, that was so the way they introduced Reptile.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love how she's just kind of walking through that that swampy kind of woods area, and you start to see it was very like reminiscent of Predator, the way they kind of approached that. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, they're pulling a full-on Predator here, because he's like, walking invisible and, fighting her like that. So I thought that was really cool. But that was a great fight. She definitely, had to work a little bit harder, but at the end of the day, really outsmarted him. And that was just so cool to see.
Instead of throwing mud on herself to cool herself down, she threw mud on him so she could be able to see him. Why couldn't Arnold do that in the first Predator? Just throw mud on him and you wouldn't have had to. But hey, that's plot for you.
Maybe that's what they were trying to tell us here.
Okay.
It's kind of a subliminally like, why didn't they just do this?
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I kind of, and to be honest with you, I love Reptile as a character himself.
Oh,
I still kind of like the mystery of having different colored ninjas and different colored geese. Having him be some lizard creature is cool, but I don't know. I kind of liked the fact that all those different ninjas had different colors to represent themselves, and then out of nowhere he just became, oh, he's a reptile, so we're gonna make him a lizard man. Okay, Ed Boon, do what you want. I enjoyed it either way. So okay,
Yeah, a
yeah, all
great
right.
one.
So Liu Kang versus Katana, random daughter of Shao Kahn, stepdaughter of Shao Kahn. So they didn't even fight, my guy. They just
Yeah,
talked.
that was surprising. I was like, okay, they're gonna do all this little fancy, like, who's gonna go, who's gonna do this first kind of thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, I yield. It's like,
Yeah.
well, what was that all about?
They're in love with each other, but I'm thinking, yeah. But I mean, Katana over the rest of them. I mean, Shao Kahn wasn't in it. Katana's sister wasn't in it. Melina wasn't in it. So pretty good combination. I mean, Shao Kahn wasn't the main character, so having a devil's advocate for the tournament and that realm and all that come in and be a part of it was pretty interesting as well. So, okay. I thought it was really good. Kind of like a hashtag vision moment where they just decided to talk it out rather than fight it out.
Yeah, so, they used logic in that point.
Yeah. But she didn't just fly away. So,
right.
So obviously, the fight ends with those three. Black Dragon comes in, tries to take them all out, and then Scorpion shows up, saves them, and then was just like, I'm here for a reason. I'm gonna kill all these people, but I'm gonna hang out with the campfire with them for a little bit, just to hang out.
I got nothing else better to do.
Despite my anger and all that kind of stuff, I'm good. I'm a little cold. I'm a little cold. I can go start. Y'all need someone to set that fire for you? I got you. I'll start that. So they team up, they fight, and then pretty cool little monologue session between them all where they try to explain everything.
Right.
And then obviously we get the most iconic moment where Sub-Zero shows up and you get to see.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, you get to see him square off with Scorpion. So
yes.
First impression, first thoughts. This is, and obviously now we know at this point Sub-Zero is saying that he wasn't responsible. So what do you think?
Yeah, that's a load of BS. I mean, I was just totally, like I was so glad that they were fighting games. I was like, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the big showdown, and yeah, so that was just kind of my whole thought. I was like, he just needs to get his revenge and get out of there.
Cut this movie short. We don't care about the tournament. He's getting his revenge right now.
Yeah, just get him, get in and get out. We don't have time for this tournament. We got other things to do. Let's just kill this guy who killed his son and get out of here. This is Scorpion's revenge. We need to get the revenge going. So come on, let's go.
And how about the ending to their fight? They do this big long fight sequence, and then out of nowhere, they just yeet themselves, both of them, off of this cliff, and just impale themselves with spikes. Could it have happened a different way? Should he have killed him in a different fashion? Did he say "get over here" enough times?
So I will say that was cool, but yeah, by the end of that fight, and then when that happened, I was like, "Bruh," like it just totally just out of left field. Did not expect that, and I was thinking of more of like justice for Scorpion, and him getting to walk away, dragging his head or something on a chain, and getting to do like a fatality move or something. But no, they could just chill and hang out on that pole if they want to.
Yeah, just hang out. So obviously, and I've said obviously too many times, y'all could do a drinking game with how many times I say obviously in this video. But we find out as Scorpion is dying that Quan Chi actually impersonated Sub-Zero to trick Scorpion into thinking the Sub-Zero killed his wife, his daughter, and his clan. Yeah. So now that he is dead again or dying again,
what a twist.
We've got, instead of Mortal Kombat Scorpion Revenge, we've got Scorpion's Revenge again.
Yeah. So revenge.
Yeah, Revenge 2 is two parts.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. So obviously he comes back from it and heals himself because he's got some demonic abilities now. So comes back and saves Johnny, saves all of them as they fight Kano, which I'm kind of interested because Kano looks pretty good in this. He looks he looks really good in the movie coming out too. Like he's got his eye that shoots the laser beam. You actually get an iconic moment of him saying, "Oh crud, what did he say? Oh, what did he say? What did he say? Fatality. No, did he say fatality in the trailer? Yeah, I think he did. I think he
something
said
like that.
He said an iconic line in the
Or
trailer.
finish him.
Maybe it might have been that one. I'm not quite sure. Y'all can at me in the comments. But he's obviously going to play a bigger role in the upcoming movie than he did in this, which is okay. Like I said, we have enough villains. We don't need any more.
Right.
So yeah. So they beat Kano, and Jax kills Kano by stomping on his head. He told him to go bite the curb and he'd be there in a second.
Straight up.
So
just head stomping. Hashtag head stomping.
Hashtag head stomping. You don't need anything
there
else.
It
That's
is.
it. Cut the movie right there. That's it. All right, Liu Kang reaches the throne room, and we are presented with this idea that Liu Kang is apparently going to be the champion who fights for Earthrealm. And then he fights Goro, and Goro stomps the crap out of Liu Kang.
Golly, man.
Again, you think that this is one of the main characters who in Mortal Kombat can wipe the floor with anybody, goes up against Goro again for the second time in this movie as a main character that we all know, and gets absolutely just stomped by this four-armed beast.
Devastating.
So, I thought it was very funny, to be honest with you, because this is like, oh, he's it. This is our champion. Raiden's like, this is our boy. This is our guy. Ring the bell. We got it. He's our champion. And then Raiden just like bounces there.
Oh, face palming.
He was supposed to be our champion, I guess.
Yeah.
Scorpion.
Devastating. That's where that movie ended for me, because Johnny Cage was gone. So so I was like, well, I guess I got to watch the rest of this. How many more minutes are left?
Yeah, right. So okay. Out of nowhere, again, my boy main character gets stomped to the ground by Goro, and then you see Scorpion come out of nowhere and ends up decapitating Goro.
To save the day again. He's got to just clean up the mess that everybody keeps leaving behind.
Oh my gosh. How can one of the most underrated characters be the most badass character in the show?
I know, and they shouldn't have called this Scorpion's Revenge. This should have been like Scorpion, keeps killing everybody else and trying to make up for everybody else's losses. Yeah, because he can't stay on his revenge.
Mortal Kombat, Scorpion's fatalities, and it's just little clips of him killing every character. It's like Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. It's just Scorpion killing.
That's it. Scorpion kills the Mortal Kombat universe. That's what this should have been called.
So you see him square off against Quan Chi, the guy that had tricked him into killing his family, cursed him with all these abilities and death and all that, tortured him, and Scorpion ends up winning the Mortal Kombat tournament. So,
of course.
Yep. So you get Shang Tsung loses, gives Scorpion the key, ends the tournament, making Liu Kang, despite Scorpion doing all the work, makes Liu Kang the champion of Mortal Kombat. So I don't know how that worked, but hashtag bring my boy Scorpion back and give him his medal. Okay. He won the belt.
Give him his medal.
He won the belt. So obviously it ends there. There's really not much to this. It's pretty straightforward plot. Scorpion is just a badass out of the way. So just ending there. Obviously there's big fight scenes. You know who wins. We know Raiden. I wish that Raiden could interfere more in what goes on in Earth.
Definitely, he was a big presence in this movie, but he did a lot of nothing.
Right, and it's sad to see that. But again, he's not. He can't be the main character. He's just
right.
He just can't.
This is not his movie.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get a little bit more from him in the movie coming out.
Definitely. They'd be crazy not to.
I hope so, because if they restrict him to the rules of Mortal Kombat like Shang Tsung did, then I'm gonna be a little disappointed, because I need to see some lightning hands. All right, he needs to whoop the snot out of somebody. So, end of the movie, you see Shang Tsung face Shao Kahn to be punished for failing to win the tournament, and Shao Kahn orders him to gather his forces and ends the cycle of the tournament. Earthrealm wins Mortal Kombat, and everything has to start over again. So, at the end of the day, overall thoughts: good movie, bad movie? Would you recommend it to anyone else?
So, this was a great movie, whether you're a Mortal Kombat fan or not. If you are a Mortal Kombat fan, you'll definitely love it. If you're not, it will give you a lot of great action and a lot of great story to work off as you move into this next, movie that's coming out in live action. So first of all, that Secondly, I think that there's a few missed opportunities in the story where a second version of this movie could have been more centered around Scorpion and less about the tournament. Like we kind of mentioned earlier, if it was just Scorpion's revenge, and maybe some of those, characters jumped in, on his journey as he is, seeking out Sub-Zero and really, kind of, getting that justice that he would want from what happens at the beginning of the movie. I think an alternate movie of that would be just as good. If they want to make that, that'd be awesome. But I know that's not the movie we got. But thirdly, I would definitely give this a 8 out of 10. You can't go wrong with Mortal Kombat. You can't go wrong with anime style animation, and you can't go wrong with all the blood and gore that happens in this movie. They go all the way with it, and they give you exactly what you wanted. So that's my final reaction here. I highly would recommend it. It is really intense. And it's heavy R. So if that's not your thing, definitely you don't check this out. But if it is all your thing, you will love it. You will bathe in it, and you will be happy for it. So definitely check it out on HBO Max. Taylor, what about you?
I loved it. Guys, check it out. Mortal Kombat started off October 8th in 1992, and they're having a new movie out this month in 2021. Guys, it's almost the franchise is literally almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
And the only reason that it is continuing to be great is because 30, 40 years old. Am I losing my mind? Whatever. It's obviously success, or they wouldn't keep moving. They wouldn't keep making movies. They wouldn't keep making games. Everybody loves it. Ed Boon, you're a master genius. Keep doing your thing. Keep being a producer on these things. Keep it grounded to where it is where your story was created from. So, obviously, guys, I'd give it an 8 out of 10, and I would say definitely watch it. Get yourself prepared for the next movie coming out, because again, the main faces on the poster for this one are Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and what we know is going to be the first Scorpion. So it's going to be the first Sub-Zero. So obviously, their original conflict of their village and the massacre and all that is going to hold a key part in this movie. So it's definitely something to get you ready for this new movie. So.
I hope it's good. Yeah. My fingers are definitely crossed, and I hope that this gives a whole new wave of excitement for the Mortal Kombat brand. It's been a while since we've seen something like a movie come out. They've like we said earlier, they've made a ton of amazing games, but I am definitely ready for this movie.
I agree. That's all I got on this one, yo.
All right, that's all we got. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether you were live or on the replay. Check out Random Jam on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can find me on the internet at Reese_MCK. Taylor, where can people find you?
At Taylor Jackson. Y'all know the drill. It's that simple.
The A's or V's.
A's or V's.
So even I know it.
I ain't got to tell you. It's there. Watch our last podcast. If you've been watching, you'd know.
Exactly. And speaking of watching, check out all of our other videos that we've got. We dove straight into WandaVision. There's 3-part series on that. We did a full-on spoiler discussion of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And next video after this will be a full-on spoiler discussion of Mortal Kombat. So don't miss that one. Definitely check it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's enough Geek Yak for today. I hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time. Stay geeky, y'all.